That'll be the next president's problem. Delaying deficit repayment is a strategic choice to prevent unnecessary cuts that would weaken national strength. Sordland's economy must not bow to panic or foreign influence theories of austerity. The administration will act in the nation's best interest, ensuring resilience and stability. Weighing the risk of delayed deficit action. Delaying deficit resolution is a risky strategy that could lead to economic stagnation. While immediate relief may be political expedient, long-term consequences cannot be ignored. Leaving the debt for the future administration is a cowardly abdication of responsibility. The current government refuses to address the damage that it's done. Future generations will pay for the mistakes of today, while those in power escape accountability. Look, I'll deal with it next term, okay? God, get over it. Holy hell. Okay, it did cause the finances to go down another point, but that's not that bad. It was raining as Sergei dropped me off at home after yet another grueling day at work. A guard held an umbrella over my head as I walked from the car to my front door. Inside, the house was completely dark. I flipped on a light in the kitchen to find a note from Monica. Sierra had called her for a last meeting, women's right meeting. She dropped Dina off at her friend's and left me some food for her re-eating. I took the pot off of the fridge. It was filled with an unidentified grayish looking stew. Evidently, Monica's excellent cooking has been the first casualty of her political career. I'll order a pizza. I called Sergei and asked him to pick me up a pizza for dinner. While I was waiting for him, I went into the living room to fix myself a drink. Suddenly, the phone rang. I went back to the kitchen and answered it. Frank's voice was on the other end. Oh, I thought Mom would pick up. Sorry, you're stuck with your old man. I didn't mean it that way. I just figured you'd be working. There's a long silence. I got that record you sent me. Not bad for old folks music. Yeah, you take that back. How's Uncle Peter doing? He and Evelyn are divorcing. Oh, bummer. It's not exactly a surprise, though. How's school? Fine. Better than fine. I've actually started seeing someone. Oh. Is she, really? What is she like? She's amazing. Bloodish, actually. Her parents are big supporters of yours. Well, I can't wait to meet her. Maybe I'll bring her for dinner next week. The doorbell rang. Sergei was here with my pizza. Good catching up with you, Frank. Yeah, okay, bye, Dad. I mean, I would have talked over pizza. I let Sergei in. The pizza he brought was gargantuan. Sergei, why don't you join me for dinner? There's an FC and Rika game on today. Sorry, sir, I gotta get back to my family. Sergei left. I ate my pizza alone with a flickering light of the television, wondering when Monica and Dina would get home. This is a little sad. Government budget. Why did I lose it? Oh, because the transportation's done. Okay, we paid $1 for that. Synergy between investments across sectors remain limited, with misaligned and uncoordinated strategies resulting in suboptimal outcomes and slower economic progress. Very cool. The North Sea ports have opened to international traffic. Storage ships are now traveling to 40 destinations worldwide and offers cheap sea travel to distant continents like Rika and Xena. The disconnect Loren region is now set to benefit from the influx of goods and people. I think Sergei needs to do you pay for children's education. Look, Sergei, we all can't get what we want, okay? Thousands more gain amnesty freedom. Thousands of political enemies of Tarkin Soul are finally returning to their homes for the first time in decades. We have 8 news reports. That crisis shocks the economy. Ah, shit. I mean, it looks bad, okay? Trade regulations. Morella marks a first South Maricopan nation candidacy. The Republic of Morella, a progressively governed nation in South Maricopa, has been accepted as a candidate for membership of the CSP. This marks a historic moment, as this is the first time the pact has considered a South Maricopa nation, signaling a significant expansion of its geopolitical reach. Morella's candidacy is expected to serve as a strategic counterbalance to Lespia's alignment in the Arcasian Treaty Organization, further influencing the region's balance of power. The announcement emphasized that Morella's application process will evaluate its alignment with the pact's ideological and operational principles. If successful, this membership could pave the way for stronger political and economic ties, reinforcing the bloc's vision for South Maricopa and advancing a collective regional stability under its framework. Police overwhelmed in remote cities. Very cool. Wait, since the deployment of police forces to combat the unrest, many attacks have occurred in remote cities. Ambushes are rampant and security forces are being pushed back. Are we under attack? Are we being invaded? That seems bad. Okay, we have so many laws to pass. Got our port. Yeah, I know we're in a debt crisis, okay? I understand that. But look, we got transportation links. That's always good. We have so much to read. ATO and CSP threaten Swordish independence. Renowned former academic and Volz Prinzer Laureate Ermin Iqua, famed for his books Geopolitics of Sordland and Post-Revolution Synthesis, warns of the growing influences of the ATO and the CSP in Sordland. Quoting from his work, he cautioned, "Our nation becomes a tug-of-war between two powerful entities. The very independence of Sordland is at stake. Our challenge is to navigate these geopolitical currents without surrendering our national sovereignty." Okay. Grand opening of the port. With the construction of Morna Port, the weight has been lifted off of the port of Conrad. The flow of goods is expected to pour towards Haldesword faster than ever from the Mornia port. Larger corporations based in Morna are expressing their gratitude towards the administration. The president's decision has propelled Haldesword and the northern regions out of the recession. Jobs are increasing and money is rushing towards the capital. The election campaign efforts have started to pick up speed across Sordland. To become the 5th president of Sordland, the candidates began delivering their speeches at rallies and conventions, while the party flags were flying in major cities. The campaign centers are busy with scheduling and organizing events. The exciting times of elections are approaching. In the major cities, USP appears to be the most prominent, where PFJP follows, behind the NFP. Sources from within the Grand National Assembly have informed us that the reformists of the USP seem to be intentionally obstructing President Rayne's agenda. From failing, what the fuck is wrong with the reformists? I hate these assholes. From failing to attend committee meetings to delaying bills that the president has attempted to push through. Why? What's your problem? Former Vice President Peter Vector has not been seen in public for months, since his affair with the Rumburgian spy has been made public. President Rayne quickly ousted the VP from his party once the affair was discovered and replaced him with a new VP. Vector recently left Hellsword for a change of scenery following the scandal. The credit rating of Sordland has been downgraded after a massive report on government deficit has resurfaced from the Ministry of the Economy. Foreign rating agencies have said that investors who buy government bonds with high interest rates are likely to see a profitable return on their investment. You can't go into deficit at all, even for like a minute. Grow up. The widening government budget and the borrowing, which is leading Sordland into debt spiral. Correction from B-. How am I a D- economy? Come on now. Grow up. Okay, following the release of the Ministry of Economy's report, credit rating is downgraded to D-. Concern over the country mounting debt. I think you need to... Okay, everyone hates me. Everyone is sick of me. I had a feeling this would happen. Mounting government budget deficit and unstable borrowing has led to concerns among investors and analysts about the country's ability to service its debt. Sordland now faces a serious debt crisis. This lack of confidence results in increased borrowing costs, a reduction in foreign investment, and a risk of potential default. I am not at risk of default. You don't understand anything, to be honest. Okay, I can't pass any more bills though. I can't pay for anything else. Continuation of efforts to promote social progress and upliftment. Problem is introduce a Child of the Future Act. Look, okay. You can read this on your own. I gotta veto it because I have no money. And then Human Dignity Bill. You cost me money? You don't. I'm glad to see that. The Human Dignity Bill, the HDB, has been presented to the Assembly to address the unintended consequence of the 1923 Legal Transactions Act. Section 1 of the HDB revises and amends Section 3 of the 23 Act, which previously permitted transactions involving non-registered businesses and other entities, including individuals, to be legalized if proper documentation was submitted to the financial authority. The HDB specifically nullifies the legality of such transactions if they pertain to activities that violate public morality. Section 2 addresses the loophole inadvertently created by the 1923 Act, which allows for the unregulated continuation of prostitution. This section of the HDB explicitly declares prostitution an illegal activity, regardless of whether it occurs with a registered or a non-registered entity, thereby reinforcing our dedication to preserving societal decency and moral standards. Section 3 outlines penalties for violation of the bill provisions, classifies prostitution as a legal offense, subject to penalties including fines, imprisonment, or both. We'll sign it because I do need the conservatives to maybe back me a little bit here. Policies, prostitution is yada yada yada. Traditional values are Swordish law. President Rayne has signed the Human Dignity Bill, protecting common decency in Sordland. Prostitution will now be punishable by law, ensuring that moral principles, traditional values, and Sordland's integrity are now written into the law. No future for Swordish children. The Rayne government has vetoed the Children for Future Act. This bill would have provided parents in the low-income bracket with a fixed payment for their children and ensuring support for children of unemployed families. Look, okay. Ignore everything is fine. We're all good. You don't understand. You're all panicking. You're all panicans. You're all panasaurs. You gotta see, look into the future, okay? A storm was on the horizon outside my window. Inside my office, however, was a very warm and cozy. I straightened myself on the sofa next to the fireplace and looked at Monsoon, who was sitting on the couch across from me. He was here representing all 8 bluish members of the assembly. He had dark creases over his eyes from a lack of sleep. As I said earlier, we've been working on this bill for a long time, Mr. President. I've done my best to represent my people, only to keep getting blocked in the assembly. We can't have the same happen again. I've always brought my people's concerns to the assembly and raised my voice whenever our rights were in question. All we ask today is that the assembly at least have a proper discussion. But all that we can get is disrespect. MPs shouting racial slurs at us, not allowing us to speak, and it's not only the National Front. He stopped for a moment and repositioned himself on his seat. Now, I can speak freely without Mrs. Tory leading the floor, but the outcome is no different. The assembly does not take us independence seriously. We need your help. I understand you, Mr. Lecce. The discrimination against you is unacceptable. That's where your help would be very valuable. He just read the paper that I had received from him earlier. All we need for you is to support our bill. It is time to undo the mistake of the Swordlish state against its citizens. I only ask that you help us make a single step for good instead of staying idle. Our proposal aims to form a committee for minority rights. This will lift the ban on the Bloodish Freedom Party, as well as give amnesty to all those who are arrested for having ties to it. Their families are still waiting for them in Bergia. It's not Tarkin Soul's era anymore. It's time we try to clean up the taint that he left in our history. You know what? I agree with you completely, Mr. Lecce. Thank you for representing this noble cause. I'm so glad to hear, Mr. President. He rubbed his chin. So, we can have your support? Look, the nationalists hate me. Sure, I'll form the commission and sign your proposal as a decree. Thank you, Mr. President. He rose up and walked up to me. He extended his hand. It means a lot. As long as this doesn't cost any money, we should be okay. Sir, I'm very sorry. I thought your meeting was over. Mr. President has already decided. We can call it over, Mr. Gallade. I was already leaving. Great. So we must go to the meeting room, sir. One of our new campaign advisors has some plans for the election. He's waiting for us. So, we are very poor. Rumberg plane warned inside airspace. I hope we don't get invaded. Like, that would be really, really, really bad for us. Yes! Money! Tax the alcohol! Sign the bill! Sign the bill! Danger! Shit! Yeah, like, things could be better. Yeah, tax everybody. Tax them all. Taxes tank the economy. Look, I gotta do something. Puts a lid on alcohol consumption. Grand National Assembly has signed the Alcohol Tax Act to deter the excessive amount of alcohol consumption that has recently been plaguing Sordland. Drunks and disorderly youths will quickly learn that their actions have consequences and will soon be paying a further 20% tax. Bloodish Right Act was signed into law by President Rayne by decree yesterday. As the name suggests, its main purpose of the act is to normalize, legalize, and even justify the bloodish separatist sentiment. The act revoked the ban on the Bloodish Freedom Party, which had previously closed for their close ties to the militant BFF. Okay. Also, report condemns this action. Sordlish corporations bemoan Women's Liberation Act. The heads of Sordland's large corporations wrote in an open letter to economists in protest of the recently passed Women's Liberation Act. A new set of laws meant to grant equal rights to Sordlish women. They complain that the mandatory paid maternity leave will encourage their female workers to become pregnant, costing them vast amounts of money. To say nothing of the requirement that female employees must now be paid as much as their male counterparts. Proponents of the act argue that the influx of thousands of women into the workplace will offset these losses. Economists is yet to be convinced. Richmond Standard rates Sordland D-. You guys are like overblowing things, okay? We never thought we would see this day. The Assembly, with the backing of the President Anton Rayne, threw its support behind the Women's Liberation Act, a sweeping bill that will make domestic violence illegal in addition to supporting workplace equality and gender equal education. Fantastic. There's a long way to go before the dismantle of patriarchal mindset that made a systemic sexism possible in the first place. In a surprising move, President Rayne has revoked past anti-Bloodish policies and decided to do something right for the Bloodish citizens by signing the Bloodish Rights Act into law. While we don't know whether the Minority Rights Commission will be formed as part of the act, this will actually manage to decrease racial inequality. The new law tries to undo past mistakes by revoking the ban on the Democratic Party of the BFP and give amnesty to sole-era prisoners who have been prosecuted under ridiculous accusations. Rayne's moves to reverse Arkansas's ban on the BFF has been welcomed by many British citizens. Maswin Leke, who campaigned heavily for the bill, also sought to express his gratitude for the confirmation of the new laws. Can we see the long-term economic graph? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, look, okay, it looks bad. In an endeavor to enhance the equity of the taxation system and augment tax revenue, the Grand National Assembly introduces the Fair Luxury Tax Act. This act proposes to amend the Section 6 of the Tax Code of 1949. Section 1 of the FLTA determines the 50% tax rate on luxury goods as categorized by the Ministry of the Economy. The definition of luxury goods fall under this act includes, but are not limited to, jewelry, furs, sport cars, yachts, private planes. The implementation of this tax is intended to ensure that those with means to purchase such items contribute proportionally to the state's revenue. Section 2 of the FLTA establishes a 10% estate tax applicable to situations of purchase. Yeah, sure, sign it. We're in for a penny, in for a pound, baby. There we go. Lawmaker, we've signed 10 bills. The economy. Let's go, baby. But I've gotten us out of -6. So that's something. Big F, big F. You aren't seeing the vision. Okay? You're not seeing the vision here. Luxury is now taxable. The Assembly has passed the amendment known as the Fair Luxury Tax Act. This bold choice seeks to impose a tax hike on personal items, including jewelry, coats, and cars, believing that necessary products or loving gifts are all considered luxury products, in the harsh reality we are facing under the Rayne administration. Amidst rising religious persecution in United Katana and several hardline CSP nations, the Republic of Arcasia has opened its doors, positioning itself as a beacon of hope for the oppressed. To manage this influx, the Arcasian government has implemented a program integrating these refugees into the workplace, addressing both the nation's labor needs and providing meaningful employment for newcomers. Beneficiaries of the program receive housing and various socio-economic benefits, ensuring their transition is as smooth as possible. While some critics argue that this strategy could be viewed as opportunistic, many experts praise Arcasia for its dual approach, offering safe haven and economic opportunity. Refugees in return contribute significantly to the nation's growing sectors, especially in agriculture and manufacturing. So first, they're mad that we have too much debt, and then they're mad that we are paying off our debt. Make it make any sense to me. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a call from the Ministry of Defense. I just want to check what time it is. Oh, it's okay. Due to the sensitivity of the information, I had to be urgently briefed in person. I put my clothes on as fast as I could. I rushed downstairs and opened the door. Sergey was waiting for me. Mr. President, this way to your car, please. We got into the car and made our way to the Ministry of Defense building without a word. I arrived and was quickly directed downstairs. I came to a set of large doors and quickly read the sign above them. The sign read War Room. The dimly lit room was filled with cutting-edge equipment, the latest video screens, long-range radar electronics, and other devices used for communication, presentation, and planning. The centerpiece of the room was a large round table with the coat of arms of Sordland engraved on it. People have contradictory opinions. Does anybody have the meme? You know the meme? It's on Twitter, where it's like opinion A, or it's like one person is like, everybody on this website is stupid except for me. And then it's like person A has opinion 1, person 2 has opinion 2, and they're all funneled to the same thing. So it looks like Twitter's stupid, but just two groups of different people. It'd be that meme, but with Sordland. David, Lucien, Velikan, and Yosef were already deep in discussion. Mr. Lysia, I advise caution. Going to war wouldn't help anyone. We must maintain peace in Sordland and Eastern Cope at all costs. What do you expect us to do? Sit around and do nothing? They are testing us. We must respond immediately. Otherwise, they will think we are weak. Status report now. Mr. President, thank you for coming in at this late hour. This is the situation. Vulcan, please go ahead and provide your report. Mr. President, approximately 20 minutes ago, Rumberg shot down one of our planes with anti-aircraft fire on the ground. The pilot was declared KIA. The last recorded position of the plane was inside Swedish airspace. General Kruger, I mean no offense, but are we absolutely sure this is the case? Are you sure this happened within our borders? No offense taken. Here are the locations on the map and the reports from the airbase. He pointed to several markers on the map. To answer your question, yes, we're absolutely sure. You can see here on the map that the plane was downed approximately 10 kilometers inside of our borders. We've calculated the trajectory of the gunfire, and they started firing when our plane was within our border. The plane was downed near Halligan. How dare they? This is an attack against our sovereignty. Mr. President, I must insist. We need to be calm. We must maintain peace. I agree. They're trying to lure us into their trap. We have enough military power to contest against this violation of international law. We should attack and down one of their planes in retaliation. Otherwise, we will look weak and it will lead to more casualties. We can't look weak. If we appear weak, they will jump on the opportunity. We must order a military retaliation immediately. I agree with the general. Mr. President, our army is ready to do whatever it takes to protect Sordland. Gentlemen, before it comes to that point, we can prevent further bloodshed by using diplomacy. The room fell silent before Joseph finally spoke up. Mr. President, what are your orders? I will not invade Rumburg. That is stupid. Okay, chat. Do we do diplomacy or do we shoot down a Rumburgian plane? I would like to hear some opinions on the matter. I mean, personally, probably try to do this diplomatically would make the most sense. Because I don't know what does it say our military situation actually is. We have good generals, but everything else is bad. we don't have enough reservists. Our military equipment is outdated. If you win, it's a huge boost for your re-election. Do it. Since the economy is tanked, it's your only hope. Oh, let's go. Okay, an eye for an eye. We'll retaliate with equal force to display our strength. Sordland can't afford to look weak. Since the economy is tanked, it's your only hope. Oh, this. Oh, it's such a stupid idea. It's such a bad idea. It's make a save first. I mean, I've already pressed the button, baby. I've already pressed the button. We on this channel, on this YouTube channel, we don't go back. If we lose, we lose, and that's it. If there is to be a retaliation, we need to be extremely careful. They will seek every opportunity to blame us for it. We can't further escalate the situation and stabilize the region. We need to prevent a war at all costs. I'm saying this as a man who's lived through too many years of war. We are not the ones who escalated the situation. They were first. You can reply, what the fuck to him? Mr. President, I assure you, they wouldn't dare attack us for that. They know that we are far superior. This will be a strong message. I'll send the word before the start of a military operation. Our target will be their warplane and an airbase near the border. I still think a peaceful solution would be more beneficial. But of course, I don't have military experience and the insight that Mr. Lucia has. I'll begin my task immediately, Mr. President. If you'll excuse me for now, I must talk to the military command to relay their orders. Before the room, he saluted. I'll bring the paperwork. Joseph returned with the paperwork for the order and showed me where to sign. Sign off on the operation. Now the paperwork is done. I have an idea, Mr. President. I think we should hold a military parade to display our strength. I'm with Mr. Lucie on this one. This would work well as a deterrent and will come in handy as a tool to de-escalate the situation. Everyone loves it! Okay, order the military parade. Understood. That is all, Mr. President. I'll keep you updated on the situation. For now, have a good... I'm not gonna have a good night's sleep. That is not happening, okay? Okay, overview. Less alcohol. Like the welfare of the country is, like, awesome. See this point right here? That's when we gave women rights. And it crashed. So I mean, it's not great. Swordish plane shot down. A Swordish airplane has been shot down by Rumburgian anti-aircraft guns, allegedly for violating Rumburgian airspace. Government officials said the airplane was shot inside the airspace of Sordland. Our plane was shot down while it was flying near Halligan over the territory of Sordland by an anti-aircraft missile. Our pilot did not threaten Rumburg in any way, said Joseph Lancia, Minister of Defense. Despite the revealed evidence of Swordish officials, the Queen of Rumburg, Beatrice Livingston, had the guts to claim that our plane was shot down for violating their airspace. This is a truly heinous act purposely done by our rivals in the north. So they're saying that it was shot down near Halligan. Okay. Valand. Amidst escalating tension in the region, Valand's president, Viktor Smolak, has issued a statement raising concerns about Rumburg's aggressive maneuvers, expressing unease over Rumburg's clandestine support for the BFF. Bolak warns Sordland to stay vigilant. This warning comes on the heels of recently aerial engagement between Sordland and Rumberg. Excellent.